Hey guys! So I'm going to talk about my phone interview. I had my phone interview yesterday. I scheduled it for 2:15, so about a little after 1:30 I was, like in my room, ready to go with my notes. They can call you 15 minutes early or 15 minutes later than your scheduled time, so you have to be ready, 15 minutes before your interview time. Did my phone vibrate? No. Okay, so they didn't call me at exactly 2:15. They called me probably like 2:20ish, I guess. I stopped checking my phone at 2:17, so no big deal. I just sat there in my bed in fetal position, waiting, silently waiting for the phone call. And then when my phone finally rang, it comes up as a blocked number, so just know that's not going to come up as Disney or something crazy like that. So I was like, I didn't want to wait too long, so I gave it a ring and a half, not even. I mean, it's not like you're picking up for a date or anything. It's a job interview, so just pick up. Anyway, so I had a woman named Christy. She was really nice. A lot of people in the Facebook group were like, oh, we were laughing and talking and we just clicked. I didn't really get that. We didn't really laugh. I mean, it was just very professional. So don't be thrown off when you guys aren't best friends exchanging Facebook names at the end of the interview. But so I'm just going to talk about the interview and some of the questions they asked. They asked a lot of questions I was expecting because I watched a lot of these kinds of videos, and also the Facebook group, so I was expecting most of the questions she gave me. So I'm hoping to prep you guys a little bit for your maybe this fall 2013 you guys are applying for, or you're thinking of applying for it in the spring of 2013, or it'd be 2013 spring. So I just wrote down the questions that I can remember right offhand. I was in English class, so I was bored anyway. So the first question, not the first question, but this is one of the questions. She asks if you want to work indoors or outdoors. Well, the first thing she asked me, I think, was work experience, because she said that they want to try and pair their future Disney college programmers with jobs that they would be most comfortable doing, with jobs they will know the most about. So she asked me about my work experience, and I told her that I worked at a pizza place and that I waitress and I handled the cash and take orders and answered phones and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely try, and if you're about to have your phone interview or you're thinking of doing it, try and find a job or something to do, like babysitting or anything. That way you can at least have that and say that you've done that and have experience in that. That way they know that you can hold down a job and stuff like that. Also, they asked if you can work indoors or outdoors. Doesn't really matter to me because I live in New York, so I'm used to absolute freezing weather and ridiculous humidity. She asked me if I minded working with a group, which obviously no. I said I enjoy working with a group, but I can also work alone. Actually, I don't think I said the alone part. I wanted to say that, but when it came to the interview. Okay, then she asked me what positions. She didn't ask me my top 3 or my top 5 or anything. I did have 3, and then 10 minutes before the interview, I was like, maybe I should have 5 just in case. So I told her all 5. What did I say? I said Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, costuming, hopper, costume attendant, and something else. I can't remember. Work experience. She asked me, working at Disney, you will be doing the same task every single day. How do you keep focused on doing the same task repeatedly? So my answer to that was, while it is the same task you're doing every day, every day is a new day. Every day you're going to be interacting with new people, working with new people. It's always going to be different. Every day is different, I mean, you can do the same thing over and over again, but it's always a little different every time. So that was my answer. Yeah, I've heard people say that they got asked that question, but I kind of didn't really I didn't think of the answer beforehand. I kind of just forgot about that question, so that was my on-the-spot answer. On my application, I must have put attractions and main gate as high interest. Yeah, I don't really want to do attractions. I don't know why I would have put that. I think I probably put moderate. But anyway, so a main gate main gate question she asked me was, how do you give them, well, I mean, this is what I remember anyway, how do you give them a more, like, a good first impression, a good first magical impression or something? What I said is obviously smile, and like, try and tell them about all the special shows and, like, the special things that are going on at Disney at the moment, like, because obviously, if I went for fall, I'd be going for, what's fall, like, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. Make sure that they know when the shows are, what shows are going on, you know, what special characters, like, are going to be out. And then she asked me a question about attractions. She asked me if I ever made a presentation in front of a large group. I don't really want attractions, so I kind of was like, not a large group, but I have, like, spoken in front of a classroom before, but I forgot that I was in musicals in high school, so that, like, slipped my mind until right after I answered, and I was going to be like, oh, wait, because I don't really want that job anyway. She asked me a question about Bibbidi Boppidi Boutique, which I knew she was going to ask me, and I felt so smart because I thought this by myself. I knew she was going to ask that, what happens if a kid doesn't want to get their hair done? Or, well, she worded it a little nicely, like, what if a child, a young girl, is apprehensive about the process? And I was like, well, I would just maybe demonstrate a little bit on my own hair, you know, like, pull it up and be like, oh, see, the comb's really gentle. And I said, and then I would just explain to her that in the end, she's going to look like a beautiful princess. Beauty's pain, honey. Then she also asked me about how I feel about being interrupted. And I said, I'm capable of staying focused. Like, I can stay very focused on a task that I'm doing. So being interrupted is no big deal, because then I can just go right back into what I was doing. She asked me if I ever lived with roommates. No, I've never lived with roommates because I go to a community college, so I'm at home. But I told her that I had siblings. I told her that I had 4 siblings. Well, I do have 4 siblings. So I was like, so I'm used to living with craziness. So if you don't have roommates or you don't dorm or anything, don't worry. Explain to them, say, you know, that say your siblings, or you live with your cousins or something like that. I mean, don't lie, obviously, but you can say your siblings. She asked me if I drove, because she said some of the jobs require a license, and I just got my license, like, Monday. It'll probably be like 3 weeks, I think, a month, I think 3 weeks. She asked me if I had a working visa, if I was capable of, like, if I had to work with, like, what did she say? I can't remember. Something about, like, if, are you capable of working without any, like, special whatevers. I can't think of the word. She asked me if I had any tattoos, because obviously Disney is very strict. I don't have any tattoos, but if you do, I would invest in a good concealer. So yeah, that was my interview. I was really nervous. Afterwards, I just kind of, like, and you know what, it just kind of said it before, like, this is it. If I get in, then I'm in. Whee! I'm so excited. I really hope so. Day 1 of waiting is complete. I'm gonna show Dawson.